14 years old?
13.
13.
At 13 years old, I was sitting in the front of the class. Everybody thought I was somebody's kid.
What did you study?
It was an African American literature class, I believe. It was either literature or history. I have to look at my transcript to remember what it is.
So how did you leave? How did you leave the house? How did you get
How
out?
did I leave? Well, once I took this class, I got the only A in the whole class.
Oh, shit.
My mother took this class and got a B, and she disputed it with her teacher until he changed it.
That's
That was hilarious.
That's she get. They should have failed her.
I'm just saying, like, freaking narcissist, man. This is what drives me crazy. I've learned from my sister, not my sister's not a narcissist. My sister taught me the definition of narcissist because we have narcissists in our family. So she made sure
absolutely.
I understood what a narcissist is. And from her teaching, everything you're saying is like, yep. That's That's what a narcissist would do. You didn't dispute. Shut up and take the beat. You only disputed it because your daughter got a better grade than you.
That was the funniest part. She wouldn't stop talking about it till he changed it.
So, he changed it?
Yes, and he changed it. Because she was,
Yeah.
Anyways, so the semester is over. So what do you do with me after I get an A in a college class?
Right. What do you do? Right.
You let me go to school part-time.
Oh.
So I was able to go to the school part-time. My father would drop me off. That became his job to take me to school. And
yeah,
so he would
we're
yell
not really talking about dad
all the way there, and he would yell all the way home.
What's good with dad? What's going? Where? It's like, where's he at? He like not even around or something? Like he there but not there?
My father was in the home. My parents were married for 34 years.
Really?
9 children together. And my father was probably one of the most passive men that I had ever met in my life.
So he let your mom do whatever, and he would just sit there and be quiet.
Would sit there and be quiet. He wouldn't say anything to me. He would have no conversations with me. He would not back me in any way. And if at any point he happened to listen to me, he would go back to my mother. He would talk to her about whatever it was I said, which would fuel her anger at me, and he would always be on her side. So he was not a person of influence in my life.
Got you.
Right. But that's the thing, though, isn't it?
But he was broken down by his experiences in the world. You know what I mean? Like, and especially romantic experiences. My father did not have good relationships with women. And he wasn't a bad man. He just was a powerless man.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. Because, like, isn't that the thing they say, though? In order for a narcissist to be happy in their relationship with anybody, they would have to get with somebody who is passive. So that passive isn't necessarily a bad person. They're just not going to do anything to stop the narcissist from being
narcissist hole.
Thank you. Exactly. And that type of relationship, you see it all the time. Like, for me, it's personal for me, okay? Because that relationship was very close to me. So I have 2 people who are close to me. One is a narcissist. The other is passive. And it's just irritating that you want to go to the passive person for help, right?
Yes.
Narcissist
that was exactly my feeling. My feeling was irritation. I was so irritated by that.
They can't help
you. Absolutely. At the age of 14, I took a psychology class. My first one. Next thing on my list to take. And this psychology 101 class was taught by a psychologist. I remember being in the class, and the psychologist, we started at chapter 1, and they're talking about child development, and they're talking about the development of the mind, and they're talking about emotional development. and all these different things that you need in Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Mm-hmm.
In order to have a good life, you need to have these areas in your life fulfilled, your basic needs.
Right.
You have to be able to eat on a regular
Right.
basis. You have to have a shelter over your head that you
Right.
feel safe in.
Gia, what's going on? It's your boy Quan John here reading Motivational Motives. It's a bona fide manuscript. It's a book of real life parables, quintessential quotes, and reasons to reflect. It can be purchased in Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, and over 40,000 international mom and pop shops. So get your copy, 100.
Right.
That I never felt safe. There were no adults in my house, and every noise scared me. And I lived in haunted houses on top of that. So, you know, I'll tell you, that's a whole nother story. So, so, you know, and he was talking about, you know, these are the needs that have to be met. So when your needs are not met, he's telling everyone, it's called neglect. And I'm like, neglect. And it was like a rainbow of flashbacks happening in my mind of things that had happened. And now I'm starting to think, did my parents do that on purpose to me?
Right. How could that be?
Or did they just not know that was, there's no way they did. Did they do that on purpose? No. What? Oh. No. And I, you know, and it just created this, how could someone purposefully, there's no way they could have. Did they really mean to? Is there something going on? That was that whole, so I went through that for the next, for 3 years, for the next 3 years.
So you grappled with that for 3 years, that term of neglect, and if they did it on accident or they did it, you know, without knowing. I think probably they did both.
Like, that was the thing, because if it was an accident, they didn't know.
Right.
And I could show them that, look, this is the way you're supposed to do this, so that my siblings don't suffer. Don't continue to suffer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it turned into a situation where I decided, I'm like, okay, scientific method. The scientific method is that you create a hypothesis. You ask a question, right?
Right.
With the Beekman's World and all that stuff on TV. Yeah. Right. Scientific method. Bill Nye. Hell yeah. Okay. Scientific method. I'm gonna ask the questions. Are my parents purposefully neglecting me and my siblings?
Right.
Or are they just that clueless that they don't know
how you test that?
How do we test it? I tested by in my mind, I said, if I did what I was told and I could show that I was loyal and I was doing what I was supposed to do, I should get X rewards. I should be able to get a best friend. I should be able to learn how to drive. I should be able to do X, Y, Z. And I had this list of stuff. I knew I was going to accomplish this stuff, right?
Right.
I'm like, Dad, when are you going to teach me how to drive?
Right. What's up?
Drive. Well, I think we could do that. I'm sure we could teach you how to drive. Let's ask your mother. No. Cussing, yelling.
Can't teach you how to drive. Can't that?
Like, okay.
She's not hearing that, right?
I want to go out and I want to go see a movie. I should be able to go see a movie. I always have at least $100 in my pocket from typing resumes, cover letters, writing referrals to people 30 years older than me, or going to Chrysler, because I was at that point, I was able to qualify for work study, and I was working in the career placement lab.
Wow.
Typing papers, doing all this stuff. I'm like, I'm responsible. I work, you know, by this time, you know, I was 17 at that time. So, you know, let me test this, you know? So my dad says, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to go to a movie. That's fine. Let's ask your mother. No matter what it was. No matter what it was, I asked for.
No matter what it was.
No matter what it was.
All right, some got to give. Some got to give.
I couldn't step off the front porch. I couldn't. There was more things that had a no attached to it than had any yes. I had no yeses.
Okay. Some has to give. Where was the?
Some has to give.
Where's the aha moment? Like, you know what? I don't have to listen to her.
The aha moment happened.
Where was that? Where was that?
So now, okay. So I had been using computers since I was 11 years old.
Right.
It didn't stop at typing. I learned how to take a computer apart, put it back together. I knew how to troubleshoot software systems, antivirus.
Lucrative skills.
I had friends at that point on the internet when AOL 1.0.
That's right.
Prodigy. I had friends that were hackers. So my underground group of friends that nobody, here's my friends, nobody knew about.
Right.
Okay, because I'm 17, I go to college and there's no way you're gonna tell me I can't have a friend.
Straight up.
Just okay. So, you know, and that was just the bottom line. You know, there's no way I could not relate to anyone ever. It just is not possible. You can't. You just can't. Unless you put me in a cage in a closet or something.
That's right.
You know, which they didn't do. So I decided, I had met this young man online, and he was an editor for the Detroit newspaper, a junior editor for that. He was he went to Wayne State University. He was getting his degree in journalism. Extremely smart. And he was my age. He was what I met him, we were the same age, and then he might have been just a little bit older than me or something like that. So I said, I'm going to introduce you to my father. I think that would be the best thing to do, because at this point, my mother was working on her master's degree in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And yeah, so she was often away because she had an apartment out there that she stayed in while she worked. Since she wasn't taking care of her children anyway,
at all, right?
It didn't matter if she was there or not. So she had an apartment in another city, 45 minutes away. And my father was there to maintain the properties and stuff, and continue to stay across the street while I took care of the kids at 17. That's the way it was set up. So I'm like, okay, so this is what I'll do. Bring this young man here. And it was just before my 18th birthday. It was not long before that, I believe.
Okay.
But I wanted to go on a date.
Right.
And so I brought this young man to meet my father.
Right.
And my dad was cleaning up and stuff in front of the building, you know, off the main street. I walked up to him and he introduced himself, shook my father's hand. My dad was very impressed with him. I could tell by the way he was standing, the way he smiled. He had a smile on his face, and he looked proud of me. He did look proud of me. And I said, I want to be able to go on a date. Dinner and a movie. We'll drive me back back here by some reasonable time. I don't know, 10:30 or something like that. Something like that. You know? So I expected him to kind of haggle time, you know, but what could you disagree with?
Right.
Did I not maintain your home? Did I not feed your children? Did I not do all the things that were expected of me?
Right.
He says, let's ask your mother.
Oh, man. Come on now.
I said, Dad, is that really necessary to ask Mommy
no more, man?
We don't need to go that far. I got to let your mother know.
Man, listen.
So he calls her.
Man.
I could hear her yelling. So could the young man. So could my dad. But why? Why can't she do? I hear what you said. But okay. All right.
She can't go. Man,
mother said no.
I hope you win anyway.
Of course I did. I did a lot of stuff.
Thank you. I hope you win anyway.
After that,
forget that.
I was like, okay, There is nothing in this world that I could do to please someone who already has a plan for what they want to do for me.
That's right.
You already have a plan for me. You already see my life a certain way. There's nothing I can do to please you to get my own goals first.
That's right.
My goals, my vision, all of that, it has to be for me.
That's right.
It can't be for anyone else.
That's right.
So walk back to the house, and the young man is like, he puts his hand on my back. He's like, Tamara, I hope that you're okay. I said, I am fine. Let's go.
I'm fine.
So we can't leave now because my dad and mom know that I'm trying to go. But about midnight, let's look at what shows are coming out.
Straight up.
Because for the late stuff, they'll be in bed and stuff at that time. It's fine.
Right.
He's like, Tamara, are you serious? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And my family, they're trying to go to the zoo in a couple days. I'm not going. I'm not going. Good luck with that.
Right.
You know, so, and that's what happened. I started opting out.
That's right.
Opting out. You can tell me I can't do stuff, but you can't make me do anything.
That's right.
So I have younger sisters and a younger brother. So there are 6 younger siblings. So my sister, younger than me, just younger than me, about 2.5 years younger than me. She was at 17. She was 15. So she knew how to cook, and so did I. You know, and then I had another younger brother who was 13. So they were of age to babysit. None of us were of age to parent.
Right? Okay? Hell no.
They were of age to babysit. So if something was going on, I had a pager. They could contact me.
Right. Like you were mother. Like you were mama. Damn.
Like I was mom. Because who else? Okay. But I'm like, I'm working and I'm going to school. You guys got to cook dinner and whatnot. Right. And then, you know, whenever they bring food and stuff, and, you know, I'm like, but I can't help us if I stay here.
Right. That's right.
I can't help stay if I stay.
That's right. That's right.
And I realized that I had to change my environment if I was going to create a situation better for me, because my environment did not encourage the upward movement that I saw myself taking.
Right.
I could not move further, but I had no frame of reference. I didn't know how to launch. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know. So I had to do it in the craziest, whatever way, so that I could recalibrate and figure it out. That's how I saw it. You know, I'll throw this brick as far as I can, and whatever it hits, you know, I'll just sweep after. You know, that's the way I saw it. So I said, well, I got to run away.
That's right. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
I have to run away.
You have to run away.
That I leave. But how?
Where'd you go?
I don't know how to drive. I don't know any directions. I don't know nothing, you know? Right. And so at the time, I had a best friend by that time. So I had actually met her through a classmate who told me he knew someone just like me, but who was more innocent than I was. He didn't consider me innocent.
Really?
Innocent how?
Innocent how? I would think that how can you be more innocent than you?
He was in his 30s. And he felt like,
I
was 17.
He was a pedophile.
There are a lot of those, by the way.
Oh, man.
A lot more than I could assure you comfortably that there are not. So he introduced me to this young lady.
Right.
And she had a Muslim family as well. But her Muslim family was nothing like my Muslim family.
Right. Right. They
all prayed together all the time. They ate together. And everything they did was communal. And then they went to the mosque and stuff. And I knew about the mosque, but my parents hated the mosque because those people wanted to know too much about you.
Oh my God. These aren't Muslim people.
That don't sound like somebody I know.
That's crazy. They want to know
They're
too much
always in your
about you.
business. Always want to come by. Always want to do this and do that.
Damn.
But you wouldn't be worried about that if you're doing good things.
Exactly.
Yes, if you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, why would you care if somebody came over?
Raising your kids. You would not be worried about somebody coming to your house and saying something. You'd be normal and you don't have that problem. Okay, so
this whole podcast is killing me. I don't think I've ever been this aggravated in a podcast before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is crazy. But you know what? All right, so you met the girl. What's up?
Met the girl. She's my best friend. So I told her everything that I was planning, everything I was gonna do, you know.
Right.
And she didn't have any immediate contact to my mother or nothing like that. But she had several younger siblings as well. You know,
Right.
She also had an older sister and maybe one other sibling that was older, but she had 6 younger siblings that she would often take care of.
Wow.
Not quite the same way that I
like
did.
you, but yeah.
But it was somebody to imprint on that was very close in many ways, in a much more loving way. Right. And I got to know her mother and how she was. And she had her back and forth with her mom.
Right.
Her mom was a little, you know, helicopter-y. It wasn't like my mom at all, you know? Right. And I'm like, how could you be mad at your mom about that? Wow, your mom really cares.
Oh my God.
I know it's sad, man.
Like you don't know the gifts you have.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, you know, I was able to imprint that way, but she knew my plans. So I told her I met someone online, this guy, he's 27. He has a car and stuff, and I don't really know much about him other than that, but he said he could help me leave.
Right.
That sounds scary. And I said, well, you know what's scarier? Staying here. You know, I said, you know, so yeah, the worst thing that could probably happen was that I could get killed or I could be human trafficked.
That's right.
Anything that happens. I said, so you know what I'm going through. I'll try to be in communication with you as much as possible, but I'm leaving tonight.
So the guy was coming to pick you up.
And at that point, I had been moved out of the house with my siblings upstairs into the building on the corner in the apartment.
Okay.
And my oldest brother, at that time, he was staying up there in the apartment on the other side of the building.
Got you.
So he wasn't watching me.
Right.
You know
Not at all.
Okay, your siblings didn't know you were leaving.
They had no idea.
No.
No one had any idea.
Okay. All right.
So this man comes, I put my little clothes into this white little round laundry basket. I got my Tori Amos and Alanis Morissette CD set. I got to take that with me. You know, that's in my little laundry basket. I got my state ID and I got my, you know, my little checkbook. I just got my own checking account. I was super proud of that. Put that in there. And then, you know, and I got my first credit card. I put, you know, because I'm in college. They don't care what age you're at. If you're in college, they get your name from this and they'll send you a credit card.
That's right.
So, I mean, it was 1997 at that point.
Right.
So I dropped my little laundry basket out the window into this guy's hands, you know.
Wow.
Go down the front stairs, get into the car, into his van, his little Astro van.
Right.
And there's like 4 or 5 other grown dudes in there.